So now, change hats, turn your lid around, and we're going to have a bit of a laugh now, guys. So the topic of this segment is Mythbusters.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I'm going to read out a couple of Mythbusters to you, and you're going to tell me what you think about it, right? So, if I cut out my daily coffee, will I be a millionaire one day?
Oh, this is so much bullshit. I keep hearing this bullshit. $5 a day?
Yeah, $5 a day. Just as a, I know $6, $10 some places.
Let's call it five. What is it? 365 days?
Yeah, you're going to have a coffee every day.
All right.
Buy it every day.
Is that what?
Just for this hypothesis.
That's what? $1,700-$1,800 per year?
Well, 365 times 5.
Times 5 3s are 15 years. It's about $1,800.
Yep.
We'll multiply that over 30 years. So that's what? 55 grand?
Yeah. You got to index it.
Yeah, but okay, 100 grand.
It's 150 grand.
Okay, let's call it 150,000.
Subject to whatever growth rate
if you think that sacrificing a $5 coffee is going to make it for you, you know what? You're jumping hoops without you knowing about it. No chance. That's just the bullshit. That's just a myth. Crap.
To flip that a little bit though, just to play devil's advocate again, if you have 10, not cups of coffee, but 10 things that happen in your life on a daily event, and I've been flipping again here, but 10 things, and the combination of those, if you took them out of your life, would make you $1 million. Would you change your view on that?
No.
It's a basket of things.
No.
So cigarettes. No. Cigarettes is a big one, right?
Cigarettes is huge. I mean, I'm a smoker, so I understand.
You're a bloody chain smoker.
That's a classic.
Yeah. So what's a packet of cigarettes cost these days? Just circa.
I don't smoke those type of cigarettes, but they're $55.
Let's say $50, right?
Yeah, no, that's a lot.
And a person who smokes a lot, how many packets a week do you think they might be buying?
A packet a day?
Packet a day?
Yeah.
So that's $350 a week.
Oh, yeah, minimum.
And then add your $25.
Yeah,
sorry,
I mean,
$35.
that makes a difference. But
all of a sudden,
yeah.
So the compound effect of the basket of your expenditure, I get that part of it. Like just taking one thing out, yeah, sure.
But you're talking about reducing your expenses. My answer to that is expand your bloody income so you don't have to think.
Smoke more.
I'm not talking about smoking more, but I'm talking
kids.
Expand your income without deleting. I mean, that's the whole idea. You can delete as much as what you like. You know what?
The trick is you have to do both.
You do.
Expand your income, but have a look at the money you spend. But this is to have fun, right? So Mythbusters, right?
So I reckon that's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. In isolation, no, you're not going to be a millionaire by cutting out a cup of coffee. But if you cut out a basket of coffees, so to speak, you could.
But I tell you what, you've heard of Breville?
Breville?
Yeah. They make all the coffee. They make all the coffee machines. They're actually listed on the on the ASX. If they keep driving coffee price, $5 goes to $6 goes to $7. They'll be buying coffee machines from Breville. So watch their share price go. Again, it's my opinion. So I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, too not sexy, that stock. All right, next one. Credit cards are evil.
They are.
You think they're evil?
I do have a credit card. I've never used it. It's only for emergency purposes.
Really?
Yes. If you're using a credit card in perpetuity or on a regular basis, you've got issues. Because you're paying the bank, again, back to the banks. Most people don't pay on time and they're paying 20%.
That's a key point.
Yeah.
Because you were being quite simplistic about it. But if credit cards are only evil when used in the wrong manner, and I'll use an analogy for you here, right? Credit cards are like power tools. If you use power tools, if I got a drill and was drilling a hole in your head, that's dangerous and not in the right manner. But if I'm building a house, power tools make my house get built quicker. Credit cards are the same. If you utilise credit cards and you're part of a rewards program and so forth.
Oh, this is so much bullshit. But anyway,
no,
go on.
And then you religiously meet all your payments, so they're not charging you that interest.
So what's the percentage of people that meet that minimal requirement? Do you know?
No idea.
Do
you care? I'm talking at a philosophical level.
Yeah, but you should care. Because,
I'm not Prime Minister anymore.
Because banks have worked. Mark, banks have worked out there'll be a minority who'll pay off their credit card within 30 days. People like you, so you can get your points and wait 16 years to get a business flight to Rome or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The bulk of it, guess what? Everyone's paying interest.
But does that make the credit card evil, or does that make the people using the credit card stupid?
Both.
I disagree.
If you didn't have a credit card, you wouldn't use it.
You have to own your own decisions. Like, we're not babies here.
Okay.
Don't give me a credit card because I'm going to pay interest because I don't pay it back.
Okay.
You make that decision.
True. Yeah. You're being logical now.
Pardon?
You're being logical now. Because most people are just stupid. They're just dumb.
But that's on them, right?
Yeah.
And the system's milking that. I get that.
That's right.
But that's so bad. So what?
Okay, fair enough. I don't like credit cards. I don't like that question. Nah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, nah.
All right, next mythology. I don't need a budget because I track everything in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah, I'd go with that. I have no issue.
So you have everything in your head?
Yep. Yep.
Checks and balances. Everything?
No, I live a very simple life. I hate complexity. No, I would agree with that.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I'm cool.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Unless you're not good with money, and I think a budget helps you from a planning point of view.
Yep.
It doesn't mean it's not in your head, but sometimes people are outside their head a lot, and they get impulsive tendencies to just buy this and just buy that and whatnot. And so if you're that way inclined, I think a budget's really good to help you with your planning, so that you don't get yourself in a mess. So you're outside of that, yeah, I agree. If, unless you're running BHP, you can't run BHP in your head. You probably don't need a budget. But if you're on the other slant and you're not great with money, or you're
if you're a spendthrift, you're going to have a lot of financial challenges.
Yeah.
If you're a spendthrift,
can help you with that.
Yeah, no, look, it really can.
But as a mass rule, no, I agree. I'm in unison with this. We agree on one.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, next one. Only rich people invest in stocks.
Bullshit.
Well, your little mate that you told us about, he's now rich, but he wasn't rich, so that blows that one out of the water, doesn't it? Nah, look, like the whole crypto world's made that. You don't have to
actually,
be rich to invest.
I would assume in the crypto world, which I can't stand, I'm assuming, I don't have any data, that you'd find that it would be less in our generation that would be investing in the crypto world. It would be the younger generation. Yes. I think that's probably not true.
They didn't start with wealth. They took a punt.
On a story, yeah, I agree.
Okay, staying on the investment theme, I should wait for the perfect time to invest, to enter the market.
No, but you should have the ability to read the market and understand the cycle of the market. That's really important.
Help our listeners understand what you mean by the cycle of the market. So cycle
meaning that the market usually goes like that, up and down. You're never going to get the bottom. You're never going to get the bottom. And you're never going to get the top of it. So for instance, in the share market, right now, where the indices are, we know that probably in my world, they're exorbitant levels. So they're probably a little bit on the high side. So if you wanted to enter the share market, I would do it with extreme caution.
So if you're not an experienced investor, how do you go about ascertaining through your insights you just shared that the market's toppy?
Read.
What are they reading?
They're reading books, they're jumping on YouTube, they're listening to commentators, they're understanding multiples. I know this sounds all a bit too much, but it's actually really easy to understand. It's like house prices, right? If you spoke to anyone now in Melbourne, let's put the peninsula on the side because that's losing a lot of steam.
Yeah.
Most people would say to you that the prices in Melbourne are starting to soften, all right? So generally people understand a little bit about the cycle. So I would say don't wait for the perfect time, but understand the cycle. And more importantly, don't over-borrow money. Don't get excited.
No, this is not about how you structure investments.
Right.
This is about timing the market versus timing of the market.
My response is understand where the cycle is before you make a decision.
Yeah, that's good advice. The way I look at it is there actually is no perfect time unless you absolute arse it.
Yes.
There is no perfect time because it's only in hindsight do you know what perfect time was.
Yes.
And so how do you wait for something that has to happen and then you know about that it happened?
Okay.
So my philosophy is there is no perfect time.
Okay.
So the research is really important. And so
you've heard of Warren Buffett?
Yep.
One of the richest men in the world?
Yep.
Most successful investor in the world?
Yep.
Do you know how much cash he's amassed?
He's exiting market. Yeah, he's selling down on Apple. He's selling down on this. He's selling down on that.
I think he's got 260 or $360 billion in cash.
Yep.
Why?
Because he's bearish on the market.
Because he believes we're probably at exorbitant levels, and he may get it wrong too. Look, I'm not too sure, but he's been right in the past.
Well, yeah, he's the Michael Jordan of basketball.
Well, he is. He is. So I tend to look at people like Warren Buffett and say, you know what? If he's doing it, why shouldn't I? I don't have a problem about understanding the cycles. My issue is like, when do you get back in? Because that's just another story.
Well, there's also, and it depends on timeframes as well.
Correct.
So if you invested in 1940, were you about 20 then or something?
Yeah, keep going. Just keep going. You think because we're on this podcast, I'm not going to throw the microphone across. You should know me better.
So if you invested in 1940 and never got out of the market, all the things you're talking about, they are noise.
Correct.
Because it's up here now.
Yeah.
It comes up on the camera.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
It comes up here now.
Yeah.
So there is no perfect time to get in and out.
Yes.
There are silly times. Like I agree. I would. The market's a little bit heavy at the moment at the top end, especially overseas and whatnot.
Yep.
And so you wouldn't go put 100% of your money into the market right now. But the way I would look about it, just forget about perfect markets and perfect timings and that sort of stuff. Find a thematic.
Yes.
Where is, like they use this term recession-proof, right? Nothing is recession-proof from a share price point of view, because when market cacks itself, it cacks itself. But find a thematic, and those thematics recover quicker than the wrong thematics.
100%.
And so I would not worry about perfect timing, not worry about too high, too low, all that sort of stuff. Find research, and it's a bit of, forecasting in this exercise, but what's going to be big over the next 10 to 20 years? And then research companies who operate in that area, understand, can they hit, if a tsunami hits their business, can they still sustain it and move forward? Like our banks, right? Sure, the price might drop, but invariably it just dusts itself off, picks it up, and over the next 3 to 5 years, it goes back up again, and away you go and whatnot, right? So that's the way I look at investing. I believe it is a myth that people think they can get the perfect timing.
No, they can't.
Some people use technical analysis, and I'm one of those who use technical analysis. And for those that don't know what technical analysis is, use charting. Use charts to help with entry prices.
I think that's so much bullshit with charting.
I don't.
But that's me.
But that's more a trader's mentality.
Correct.
Not a long-term 10 to 15-year investment philosophy. Just don't worry about that. All right. Next one. I hear this one all the time, especially in older generation. Cash is king.
It's only king when you're in the middle of a GFC or you're in the middle of a bad recession, bad economic downturn. You'll often hear this word. But when cash is not viable is because you're getting a minimal return on the left-hand side. You're going for that safe, secure passage as opposed to investing in growth assets. So cash is not king. It just depends, again, back onto the cycle.
Yes.
Like for Warren Buffett now, guess what? Cash is king.
Yeah.
Because actions...
And he's taken a view. But
yes.
if he's wrong, and he probably won't live long enough to know if he's wrong, because that cycle's got to take a while if he is wrong. But if he's wrong, then the opportunity cost lost by sitting in cash...
True, that's true.
In real terms, sends him backwards.
True.
Not in cash terms, just in real terms, right?
True.
And so I agree. This cash is king is a myth. Access to cash
is really important.
Is the important one. Not cash sitting in your bank account.
See,
so equity in your home.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Unencumbered shares, unencumbered properties, investment properties. So reduce that debt footprint. Is more of a key. So you've got access to cash to draw down to take advantage of opportunities. But cash, people feel comfortable, and it's a cashless economy these days, pretty much. So there's no more cash under the mattress and that sort of shit.
But what if you believe like I do, and I could be wrong, I better not be. What if I firmly believe there'll be a global recession is around the corner? I firmly believe this, by the way.
Yeah.
If you see it, again, it's who you listen to, it's who you believe, and sometimes you just have to stick to what you know. What if there's a global recession around the corner? Don't you believe that cash is king right now?
Well, if I believed that was going to be the case, I still go back to the access of cash, accessibility to cash. I would not be prepared to divest everything I have and have it sitting in a bank account.
Right.
I'm not of that mentality.
But Warren Buffett has just done that.
It's okay.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
But I'm managing me. He's managing many others.
Yes.
So he's got more of a fiduciary duty to do the right thing by all the people that have invested in him. Like he doesn't control 90% of that fund.
No, he doesn't.
You know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here saying he's wrong. I'd never. I'd back
who are we to say
I'd back
that
that guy
wrong?
100 out of 100. Right?
No, 100%.
I'm talking about my personal situation. Do I have access to cash? Sure. If something comes up and there's an opportunity, I've got access to cash. But does that mean I'm going to start selling all my portfolios and all that sort of stuff because I think a recession's coming? No.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I'm not that way inclined.
I am.
The way I'm inclined is, because I've got access to the cash, if there is a recession and the prices fall, I'll buy more.
Yeah, I understand that too. Because also you would do that because all that you're saying, the only thing that we've seen is as soon as the share market's correct, within 5 minutes, meaning it could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, it goes bang up there again straight away.
Not everything, but the top end of the market does.
But the indices, this is what they've learned. This is what we've learned since the GFC. The whole theme of a big drawdown. It used to take 2 to 3 years for things to start picking up again. Now it takes like 2 minutes because they're printing money, QE or whatever they call it.
Everything is a soft landing now.
Everything is a soft landing. So there's no such thing as a recession.
Well, there's still recession. Like you don't think we've been quasi-recession here?
It's a GDP per capita recession. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, governments
so
are too
still
scared.
Going for it. So you think there's a second wave coming here? Or you think you're talking more about the States?
No, because at the end of the day, what happens to the States is what's going to happen around the world. That's a fact. But I think there's a global recession around the corner. And I think people are in la-la land to think that these prices that they're getting now, they're going to be there around for a long time. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my thematic.
I don't disagree with a lot of that. And without, who was it that said that the recession we had to have or something? Was
Paul Keating.
Yeah. So I'm not going down that path. No. But a soft landing recession sometimes is healthy. A soft landing one. So I don't want people to be suffering and homeless and all sort of stuff. None of that stuff, right? But a bit of a recession where people pull their reins in a little bit. Don't go out for dinner 6 nights a week. Don't get Uber Eats 6 nights a week. Go buy some veggies and cook some meals at home. Just rein it in. Are
you shocked by how many people that don't cook at home? Like all this Uber Eats and prepared meals, all that sort of stuff. Are you aware?
The reality is not much shocks me anymore.
Sorry?
Not much shocks me anymore. So I've become a bit immune to all of that. 5 years ago, I was shocked on Uber Eats. It started Uber just being an alternative to a taxi. Now it's Uber Eats and it's DoorDash and there's this and that. So no, nothing shocks me. Another mythology, and we're getting ahead of time here, but there's a couple more I want to do with you. I'll save money when I make more. Is that a fact or is that a myth?
I'll save money when I make more. No, that's a myth. No.
You think that's a myth?
I think that's a myth.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
I'll give you a silly analogy. It's like saying I'll start eating healthy when I get skinny.
Actually, that's a good one. That's actually a real good one. How did you come up with that one? That's quick. Spot on. Yeah, spot on. Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, so if you need to save money or you want to save money, you'll work out a way to save money. As a general rule. If you're living hand to mouth, I get that.
No, I understand.
They're different. Right?
You've got to save money.
That's a general rule.
You've got to save money with a little money that you're earning and with a lot of money you're earning. If you get to that situation, yeah, I agree.
All right, next one. My tax refund is free money from the government.
No, you've paid for it. Oh.
Have you heard that phrase?
I tell you what I have heard. I'm getting a tax refund. I'm buying a car.
Yes.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah, it's like it's free money.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow it.
Yeah, they don't get it. Yeah.
Pay it off your credit card, pay it off your mortgage.
That. Correct. Yeah, no. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. So I'm in agreement with that one.